It's Wednesday 13, vocalist of Murderdolls and Wednesday 13.
Beautiful, mate. How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good to talk to you again, my friend. So you're returning to Australia next February for a special tour where you'll be performing Murderdolls songs from the albums Beyond the Valley of the Murderdolls and Women and Children Last. Like, I don't know about you, mate, but I'm already excited. I've been looking forward to something like this for years.
Uh, Me too. I'm excited. I didn't realize that that people were this passionate about the music. I mean, I knew they liked it, but it's just great to see that it's 21 years later. There's still the old fans, but there's this whole new generation of young fans that have been dying for it as well. So it's just a great reaction. We're in the middle of a US tour right now, and it is nothing but fun just going out and playing these songs. We're doing a full hour 45-minute set, playing 20 songs off both records, 13 off the first album, the rest off the second. And it's just been a complete blast every single night. And I cannot wait to bring it to Australia and see the madness that it will create there. I can't wait.
Hell yeah. And before announcing these tours earlier this year, mate, you hadn't played any Murderdolls songs in over a decade. So what made you decide to revisit them now?
Well, I mean, there are Murder Doll songs scattered in the Wednesday 13 set list. Like, I love to say fuck has been like a staple in my set list, 1976, 66. There's several songs that have kind of switched in and out over the years. Um, but the main thing that started this, unfortunately, was the passing of Joey. And last year when I was touring and I was sort of doing a celebration of my 20 years of history, including Murderdolls and Wednesday 13 stuff. And there's a part of the set where we played 4 or 5 Murderdoll songs, and I did a little story about Joey and I, whatever. And it was after the shows, everyone was like, I've never heard Murderdoll songs like that. You should do a full set like this. And now that Joey's passed, it'd be a great thing. And I'm like, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right. And it was just hearing it over and over every night, and I realized this: why shouldn't we do it? It's perfect time to do it, and and also it was a healing thing for me, and I think it's a healing thing for the fans. A lot of people didn't get to go to a concert and celebrate something like that and have someone. I mean, the whole concert isn't all about talking about Joey. There's a part where I talk about him. I talk about Ben Graves as well. And but for people to come out and hear those songs, some people have never even got to hear them ever live. So to hear that and also have a little memorial tribute thing to Joey, it's the best of all worlds with it. So yeah, it's been fun, and I know the Australia tour is going to be something to remember.
Oh. So what can fans actually expect from the shows, mate? Like, there's probably quite a few people who haven't seen Murderdolls before. Like, I remember from seeing you when you came out for the big day out, I think, like, it's as much a visual show as it is a sonic show, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think what Murder Dolls did well was just we carried an attitude with us that was with the music, and not necessarily it was. I mean, we had our image, whatever that was, and that pretty much was the stage show. We were the stage show, the energy, the look, the dreadlocks, the black and red. It worked, and we really didn't need a whole lot more gimmicks than that. Of course, I pulled out the umbrella and the brush my teeth on stage like Pee Wee Herman. But yeah, this was that's kind of what we did. So when it to do this tour and to go back and revisit these songs, the main thing that I wanted to focus on 100% was make sure these songs sounded justice with the albums. Everything, like drumming wise, I told my drummer, who's a huge Joey fan as well, and just I was like, do it justice, do these songs, play these songs the way Joey played the drums, and he is. And the guitar, everything, I want the vocal, I want everything to be, because this is 21 years in the making for some people, never got to hear it. I want them to come to the show and I want it to be everything they wanted and more. It's not Murderdolls. It's Wednesday 13 playing Murderdolls. It can't be Murderdolls without Joey beside me, and that's why I can't or don't want to call it Murderdolls, because that was he was the thing. This is a tribute to the music, and it also is a tribute to him and Ben. And it's been a blast so far, and I'm glad I get to take it around the world and see a reaction the same way in other places. So I know it's going to be a really important tour and special for a lot of people, including us.
I'm not sure if I've told you this before when we've chatted before, mate, but I actually had Die My Bride as my wedding song. I got married, well, actually walking down the aisle, I had that playing, and like she had her family was on that side of the room, my mates are on that side, and my mates are all going, fuck me, he said he was going to do it, and her family's all like, oh my God, what is she marrying into?
That's great, man. I think you did tell me that before. That's cool. I've several people have gotten married to that song, I think, around the world, and that's crazy to think that I wrote that song literally 10 minutes from where I'm standing right now in my parents' bedroom. That song was written in 1997. That's how long that song goes back. So it's just crazy to know that there's people around the world that have embraced it like yourself and made it part of their world.
We actually break up before 8 p.m. on that night, so I'm not sure if that was his song's fault or not.
Well, hey, it is what it is.
So go back to the start of Murderdolls, bro. Like you started it with Joey back in 2002. So what was your early vision for the band? Was it just getting together with your mate and having a bit of fun, or did you want to do something more?
That's really all it was. It was it happened so fast. People ask all the time, like, you could look at the band and if you didn't know anything about it, you could guess and say, oh, I bet they worked on that for a couple of years and it took them a while to craft that. No, it was literally fly by the seat of your pants. Now, what are we doing? Luckily, when we started the band and Joey and I met, we looked very similar, with the way we dressed. Joey had black hair. I had red and black dreadlocks. It was just like, and then when we put the band together, the live band together, and we brought in Eric and Ben, we picked them we saw photos of them, and then we were like, oh, well, let's send us a video. So we picked the band because we knew we wanted a band that looked like something between the Sex Pistols and Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil. And that's what our image. And other than that, it was just that look and the music. And we didn't really have to work on the image that much, because when we met Ben and Eric, they looked like that. They look like that during the day. We look like this during the day. We just put on a little more makeup. We were already half dressed. And that was the fun thing about it. It really wasn't a lot of thought, and we made stuff up on the spot. I Love to Say Fuck was the reason Murderdolls recorded that song. It wasn't on the original. It was on the special edition. It's a bonus track, because we were in Europe and we were opening up for Papa Roach, and the audience hated us every night. And we thought, okay, well, how can I fuck with them even more? And I saw the umbrella sitting over in the corner, and we had just started playing that song, and I was like, I'm gonna write fuck on it and see what happens. And that's the staple of the show. People expect to see it, and it's just part of it. And that's how we made stuff up, and I'm going to shave my eyebrows off today. Okay, I'll do it too. All right, cool. Let's all wear red, and we're all wearing red and black. Let's just kind of make it more uniform. All right, let's do it. It was very, and so we were making it up as we were going along, and it was also really fat. Joey had just a short amount of time to do this and get back to Slipknot, so it wasn't any time to think about it. And when the band started getting some traction and getting eyes on us, obviously, because it was the first time Slipknot members had been unmasked, so we had all these eyes on us, and then it took off in different parts of the world, and here we are 21 years later. It worked out in my favor. Thanks to Joey, I don't have to work a day job anymore. This is my job, and I don't consider it a job.
I think probably the biggest shock for people at the time too was seeing Joey play the guitar. Like he he was a fucking good guitarist as well as a good drummer, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was an all around musician. The funny thing was when we got together and we started making the Murderdolls album, because a lot of people don't know, because when you see the packaging, you see the band on it. Nobody played on that record except for Joey, me, and Trip. There were three people on that album. That's it. Nobody else played on it. And Trip came in just one day to do guitar solos, but everything else was 90% Joey, 10% me on the instruments. I did some bass, some guitar solos, I think on 1976 or something like that. But between Joey and I, we were a full band. Joey couldn't sing and I couldn't play drums, but he could play drums and I could sing, and we both could play guitar and play bass and play piano or whatever enough. And we together, we were a two-man band, and instantly we had chemistry. We worked, like Joey would be like, I don't know, there was something about him. He could pull some of the coolest ideas out of me just because it made me feel good when I could get a reaction out of him. When he would go, "That's fucking awesome." And I'm like, whoa, I just made the guy at Slipknot, the guy with the Grammy, say I did something. You know what I mean? Like it meant something when he would, and he was serious about it. He was like, "That's a great idea." And I miss having that, having a dude who would be like, he pushed and pulled a lot with me. And I don't think I would do or be who I am without having his involvement in my world.
So when you actually came together, like Joey was with Slipknot, of course, and you were sort of mainly with Frankenstein drag queens from Planet 13 at the time. So how did the union of that metal and your sort of glam punky sort of stuff, how did it come together and create the Murderdolls?
I mean, it was our influences. I mean, I was doing Frankenstein drag queens. My favorite bands were Alice Cooper. I was really listening to like New York Dolls and stuff around that time. I really got into the guy Ed Wood and that movie Tim Burton put out, and all that sort of created Frankenstein drag queens. And then Joey happened to be simultaneously, not even knowing him, he was in Iowa doing the Rejects, which was this punk kind of thing. So whenever he heard Frankenstein drag queens, and it was up for me being a part of this project with him, he was hearing what I was doing mixed with what he was doing. He was like, "That's the closest thing I've heard to what I'm doing. If we could get this together, maybe we can make something that's even better than what we have on our own." And that's what it was. And he was able to take my songs that he heard from Frankenstein drag queens and go, "That's pretty good, but what if we do this and twist it a bit?" He produced it. He produced those songs. So a lot of people will go, "Well, Murderdolls' first album is Frankenstein drag queens re-recordings." I'm like, no, they're re-recording, they're reproduced, they're produced by Joey. Joey is, a lot of people don't know him as, outside of a drummer. Oh, he plays guitar, but he's a great producer. He knows how to hear. He knows when he hears a song and goes, "That's a good song." And for example, you can take my two favorite songs on the last Murderdolls record, "Nowhere" and "Summertime Suicide," were songs that I didn't think were good songs until Joey Jordinson said, "You're crazy. Those songs are good." There was a demo I had and just left it in the corner. He heard it and went, "These songs are amazing." And I'm like, "Are you sure? Are you crazy?" And then when I hear them now, I'm like, was I crazy? He heard that in the little bit that I had, and that song would have never had the light of day had he not heard the potential in it. And that's what I miss the most, is having someone that can, because I'm so unsure of myself with songs all the time, and he was the one to tell me, "That's good," or "That fucking sucks." And he had no problem doing either one, and I had no problem with him telling me that either. It was I liked the honesty with it.
I think he was probably, I think, about the third person I ever interviewed way back in mid to late 90s. And to did, like, I've done hundreds since then, but to this day, he's still probably one of the most eloquent, well-spoken, nicest people I've ever spoken. He was an absolute gentleman.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man. The world lost a good dude. And a lot of people didn't know him other outside of the drumming, but he was a good friend. He was a good-hearted person. He loved his fans, and I've never seen him more of a music fan than that guy. Like, he turned me on to so much music. I was this little stubborn one-sided. If it wasn't this way, I wasn't going to listen to it. And he's like, you're an idiot. Listen to this, listen to this, listen to this. And there's so many bands that I love now that I wouldn't have listened to if he wouldn't have, like, he introduced me to Killing Joke and the Melvins and Faith No More, bands that I wasn't going to give a chance. And he's like, and now I can't imagine what my music would be without having that sprinkled in. So he was a genius, and we lost a good dude.
That's right, brother. Now, I'm going to ask you to do something taboo here, mate, and pick between your two kids. So, which of the two Murderdolls albums are your personal favorite?
The second one is my favorite because I worked on it longer than I did the first. The first one was, we did a little bit of music on it. I went home, a little bit of music on it, and then I came back and it's like, do all the vocals in 2 days and you're done. The record's done. It wasn't like, and plus those songs were songs I had recorded before, so it wasn't brand new to me. It was a new version of it, but it wasn't brand new. I was excited to hear those new versions, but when we did the second album, it was literally, they went, okay, we're going to put you in this recording studio and a house, live in the house, basically a compound. And for 30 days, all you got to do is make a record. And you got food, booze, whatever you want, just do it. And I'm like, this is great. We got 30 days. And Joey and I rekindled our friendship. Ramon was there. He joined the band. And it was just literally an entire 30 days of dudes. We were the best of friends. And we made that record from scratch. And that's why that one means a lot more to me. And because, like I said, the first one was re-recordings. I still love that record too, but the second one, just there's memories with it more than the music sometimes that makes me a lot closer to that.
Before we let you go, mate, I've started doing up 3 different Spotify playlists so people can get acquainted with the bands we speak to. So using your own songs, they can be Frankenstein, they can be Murderdolls, they can be your own. But give us a song for a playlist to get the party started, one for a playlist to save your marriage, and one for a playlist to end your marriage. And I know what that one's going to be straight up.
One to end my marriage.
Yeah.
Off of my songs.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's Fuck would be the one to end my marriage, because that would be one not going toward my wife, I would think. So, and what's the other question?
I want to save your marriage.
One to save my marriage. Love at First Fright. That's me giving my heart out. So there you go.
Okay, and one to get the party started.
Oh, I love to say fuck. That's a party starter.
Beautiful Wednesday. All right, mate. Well, thanks very much for your time, bro. It's been a pleasure getting to know this side of you as well, mate. And I'll be front and center at the Brisbane show in February. So take care of yourself till then, mate. And catch you out.
Always good talking to you, man. Take care. See you soon.
All right, brother.
Bye-bye.
Take care.